swept away. I'm cornered in the cold where you left me. Left again. Oh, there's a jungle in my head growing wilder, and it's killing me. I cannot let you go. I cannot let you go. I cannot let you go. I cannot let you go.
Welcome to the test studio, Doc.
I don't know why. I think I'm in a giggly mood because I woke up at 4:30.
Yeah, you might be a little punchy. Doc might be a little punchy. So
I'm sorry.
fair warning to everyone.
It's been an absolutely long day today, but it's been super fun. So I'm having fun. And now my jacket is sliding down my keyboard, getting in this obnoxious.
Oh my goodness. Well, open session today, everyone. We are in the test studio. I was realizing that, you know, we've called this the test studio. We haven't done a lot of testing yet. So if there are things you want us to test, we are happy to test it in the future. I don't have any cool things in front of me to test at the moment. Although Doc helped me set up the big red button. Which has been programmed into Ken and Glenn's computers, but wasn't yet programmed into mine. So if you have a big red button and you want us to walk you through programming it, we can answer that question.
I was like, why is Katie so blurry? No, it's my glasses are blurry.
Hey now. Jill's looking different today. Hang on, let me make my comments bigger. I was messing with them last time.
Who said that?
Louise.
Hey, Samantha. It's good to see Samantha here.
Ann in the house.
Actually, nice people come to visit us. I don't know about Sammy and Mr. Cameron Junkie.
I was wearing my my Mastering Your Interviews t-shirt yesterday, but today I'm in my library gear. We have Samantha here. We have Roberto, Peter. We are literally just doing a working session today. Jill is out. She has some sick kids at home, so hopefully they'll get feeling better soon. And next week, we're going to do an entire episode on fails. So we've been promising showing some of our OG streams and talking about all the things that could go wrong, may go wrong, will go wrong during live stream. So next week, we're going to be talking all about fails. But this week, Doc and I are just hanging out. We're going to work. If you have no questions, if you have questions, we're going to answer your questions. But we're here for the hour, so
I have an idea.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about fails. I have an idea. I got to find this, and she's probably going to kill me for showing this, but that's okay. Actually, she could probably kill me. I'm actually scared of her, but I won't say who she is. I'm going to show you this PDF. I'm going to just drop it on my screen real quick.
Okay, one second. Okay. Let's go over to Just Doc. There you
go. Okay, so one of my homies sends me the PDF and is like, I'm setting on my studio. Okay, so my first thought was, you're psycho. Because this is like this is something that Katie would make. It's like super detailed and broke down.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed with this.
The teaching lesson in this, is everyone who has their studio set up should have something like this. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is, hold on. Anna gets really mad at me if you're talking behind the slide. So sorry.
This is for Anna.
I had to fix it. I'm like super scared of her. So I'm just listening to what she say. Okay, so here's why this is important. Even if you only have a single camera, a single mic, and a cam link, you still want to draw this out. And you don't want to forget things like headphones, which I just realized is not in here. Mm-hmm. You don't want to forget things about, like, see this top icon here? This is the Ethernet cable, right? So it's showing like the Ethernet cables going directly into the Mac Studio, right? And then it has like all myriad sorts of things in here. But you want to set this up because if you have a fail, you have a map to trace. A lot of you got, okay, I don't need this map. I've been in tech since 1988.
I know. You can make mistakes. You might need to trace this stuff.
No, but what my point is if that were to happen to me, I can recover from it really fast because I know where everything is plugged up and I know what each plugged up item means and does. Yep. Right? Yep. If you're not that versed, it's like, okay, if a race car driver gets a flat tire, he's actually screwed. Why? Because the team changes his
He
tires
doesn't
all the
change his
time. He
tires,
don't know
yeah.
how to change tires.
Yep.
But like if a mechanic gets a flat tire, he don't even call AAA. He walks out the back of his car, he changes the tire, goes back to work. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Like having this map will at least tell you, okay, I just lost my webcam. I know exactly where my webcam was loaded, right? Or I just lost my Stream Deck. I know exactly what port is plugged in onto the computer, blah, blah, blah. I can reach back there blindly, unplug it, and plug it back in.
Mm-hmm.
What most people end up doing is I got to stand up and walk back there and look. Why? Because you don't know where it is plugged in. I know where every wire is in plugged in blindly. So without even looking, I can reach back there, unplug the Stream Deck, and plug it back in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point.
That's the learning way.
All right, hey, I'm gonna make one. I like it. I love a diagram. You know me spending time making diagrams. I'm all in.
Exactly. That's why I said this looks like a Katie diagram, but one of our friends who happens to live in the farm made that.
Well, I like it, so I don't think that he or she, who will remain nameless, should feel bad about their diagram. With the exception that it looks like they are missing headphones, so add those in. Look at me. I'm getting better.
Just got to add that in.
I'm learning because Doc made fun of me for a very long amount of time, and I made fun of myself. I could not figure out which ear these ones, which I love, that Doc recommended to me. Love them. They I don't know if it's me or if it's the design. It's probably me, but I was like constantly putting it in the wrong ear, and I was frustrated, and I was like, forget it, I'm not wearing any headphones. So here I am, and they are really comfortable. And I brought I have 3 of these. One at home and then 2 here in the office that we kind of just rotate back and forth. But I brought them with me on the flight out to San Diego, and they were much more comfortable than my
right
than other and the wired ones are the ones that you need, especially when you're on an airplane, because you can't access the content in the back of the seat with your wireless headphones. So it's something that you didn't think about. But yeah, I labeled these. You told me to put a dot on them, and I have my dot on the right ear, and it helped.
So here's a good pro tip for them. If you like them and you know what size little doohickey you stuck on your thing. So like if it's a large, they come in small, medium, and large, right?
Mm-hmm,
the little black foam jig. I'm trying to paste this into. Oh, I was wondering why I was having a hard time pasting this in the comments, and this is super stupid. My 34-inch monitor is now connected to the Mac Studio. But it turns out universal control, I can actually copy it from the mini browser, which I'm looking at, and drag right across over here and paste it into the chat, which is technically running on the Mac Studio. Okay, so I just put in a link in the chat for these spin fit replacement tips. And what they are like, if you notice on mine here, I have a little bit of a different tip.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
These are the spin fit tips. I wonder why I can't see you, because I'm looking at the broadcast, which is delayed. I got to make up my mind. So it's really, really soft and squishy. And so it provides a better fit. But the main reason why these are even more comfortable than those is this tilts. Not that hard. Mm-hmm. It tilts because this internal piece is flexible silicone. So when you put it in, it tilts better, and it's self-aligned to your ear canal.
Gotcha.
So that way it fits even better. It's only like $10. The ones for the headphones that we own is the 4.5 millimeter. That means this piece right here is 4.5 millimeter. So you want the spin fit 145s exactly as I pasted. The cool part is, as an Ecamm, the 45s are orange. And then I was just thinking, because you use your USB cable sometimes and not the XLR, we got to find your orange USB cable.
I know. I've gotten in the bad habit of just simplifying. So I'm like, if it's just me, I'm like, I'm gonna go USB. I can, because this microphone does.
It's not bad. The only thing you have to remember for people who have the MV7 and you switch in and out, you have to remember that when you're not using it in XLR mode, you might want to have the Motive app on the ready.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I think Laura Davison taught us: once you set the settings with the Motive app, you technically don't have to have the app open, because those settings are hard written to the mic, with the exception of one important one, and that's the auto volume control. Mm-hmm. So it does a good job of, when we get Stephanie and start talking loud,
Everyone has that
she's
one
gonna
friend who just
she's
carries the
gonna punch
room.
me. It will adjust that part automatically for you. That the app has to be open.
Yeah.
Other than that, like you can make your settings and it'll remember them.
Yeah. This is a good question here that came in from Vaughn. I sat on it for a little bit, so it's from before when you were showing your diagram. But should we label each physical cable too? So yeah, what about color coding, or I have washi tape, so I can even put different patterns on each different cables, and I can get really intense.
I actually do what Katie does. I use washi tape and clear shrink wrap.
Mhm.
So I'll write the thing on it, wrap it on the cable, put the shrink wrap on, and then hit it with the
There
heater
you
dryer or
go.
the
There
hair
you
dryer
go.
and sticks it on there. You can actually buy nowadays relatively cheap a P-Touch cable labeler. And anybody that has a P-Touch knows, but the P-Touch stock tape doesn't stick well to cables. They have a specific cartridge made for labeling cables, because if you've ever been into a network center where there's a gajillion cables, they're all labeled.
They are
That's the
labeled.
P-Touch cable labeler. That's so weird to say. This don't sound right. But yeah, your idea of like labeling or not labeling it, that depends on you, right?
Yep.
If you're the only person that ever does it and you know your cables really well, no problem. Like, I mean, I've rigged concerts and sumo tournaments and all kind of crazy stuff. I know what all the cables are. But like, if I was setting up a studio for Karen, I'd label every cable and label the hole that it goes in, and it'd be a diagram, and it'd be very Libra. It'd be extremely Libra.
Extremely Libra. Well, Team Virgo over here, and we are very
Yeah, right.
OCD
So we
and
just
type
don't care. We
A.
got it.
So yeah, we get it all done. But yeah, I mean, I also use a little bit of color coding as well. I know, Doc, when I was asking you about cables a few weeks back, you had recommended a charging cable for my Sony, because I was having issues. It wasn't charging while it was streaming, and I don't have a dummy battery in that for reasons that you've told me in the past. So that cable is actually red, and it has made it really great in my house, because I live in a house where there are 4 of us, and 3 of us are constantly stealing the cables from the one of us. So having a red cable made a big difference, right? It's that
I'm laughing
cable.
because I'm like, okay, so you just call out the kids and
The
the
kids
husband.
and the husband. We're in a constant war. We are now at a point where most of our devices and things are all the same USB-C cable, and that means that all those USB-C cables go missing. So that one is red. So that makes a really big difference, and I can immediately see that one is my only red cable. It's really easy to find. So color coding definitely goes a long way. This is a great question. What about Bluetooth headphones? I've used them, so I would say they work, but no, not good.
No, not even.
Okay.
Here's the reason why. They already add even extra delay. There's already a delay that just exists due to the fact that we should talk about this today, by the way. Due to the fact that, short answer, when I'm connected to Katie right now, I just want a brief quiz to the chat room. How many computers are involved in me talking to Katie, talking to you guys right now? Just take a sophisticated, random, wild a guess. How many computers are actually handling our conversation? Whoever gets it the closest, I'll buy you an Ecamm t-shirt.
All right, Ecamm t-shirt. How many computers? Start dropping those numbers in.
I'm going to get the real answer right now while I do this, because there's a way to get the real answer.
Answers in. We are waiting.
And I think I wish we had a better way of explaining this to people. Part of it we can't explain completely because I think we might get in trouble. But there's a certain amount of it that you should just understand that this is the case no matter what you're doing.
Samantha thinks
right?
4. Luis is 3 to 4.
Here, let me do this real quick. I'm going to give you
Johnny
the answer in a second.
coming in with 6. Yeah, it's a good point. And like, as Doc is calculating this, the other thing too to remember is that, and I feel like this is the case with 2020 from Mr. Paul Duncan. I feel like this is the case for most of the things that exist within Ecamm Live. A lot of things work, but are not necessarily the best choice. And so I think Doc's done a really good job of trying to really just say no, because even though it does work, it may get you into issues down the road. Cables are definitely that way. We were talking in the office yesterday about the difference that a bad cable can make. So like it may work.
100%.
It may be really, affordable and it's the first thing you grabbed on Amazon and it saved the day. May not work every single time, may cause damage to what you're trying to plug in and power. So just because something works doesn't mean it's the right decision. And just because Doc gets salty doesn't mean that he's not having your best interest at heart, because there really is
I'm trying to protect them from themselves. Let's just be dead honest. Because that is what a good coach does, is try to protect you from yourself. It's very easy to want to just, grab something and go, but it doesn't work like that, right? And then so what happens is then people get hyper frustrated because they're trying to figure out why it doesn't work. But the reason why it doesn't work is because there's levels to this. It's so weird to say that out loud. There's levels to this ish, but there just is, right?
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you set yourself up for success. And one of the ways you can set yourself up for success is, number one, cables is everything when it comes to anything in any computer. It is so easy to want to buy cheap cables.
Yep.
When people would come to Apple Store with their iPhone that got burnt, half the time we would check cheap cables, some $5 gas station charger, $1,300 phone, $5 cable, $5 charger. Makes about as much sense as screen doors on the submarine. It just does. It just does. Okay, so anyway, in my calculation, between Katie and I, right now, there is 34 computers that touch the signal.
Obs, you are the closest without going over. You win. Email marketing at ecamm.com.
Ari cheats because she used to be an Apple tech, so she knows.
That's okay.
But
she can
I love you anyway, Obs. You're my hero for helping
nice,
people understand.
Hey, you know what, Todd? You win too. 25, pretty close. Email marketing at ecamm.com. We'll send you a t-shirt.
Hey, let's send them one of the Christmas ones.
Yeah, I know. We need it. We need you to help us pick out a Christmas t-shirt. All right, I want to scroll back up to this other question because this was a good one. This is a demo, so over into live demo mode. Roberto wants to know about comments. We're turning on live demo mode. Okay, so comments. So here are all of my comments over here, and these are all coming in from YouTube where I am streaming. And if I click on any of them, like now we'll go over to Luis, you see that they are changing and they're up there in that spot. So this is where it's a little bit iffy with, not iffy, but a little bit less customization than what people want and what we eventually will get to. But like any other overlay, these are customizable. So if you go over, when you see them come in, so you have to do a test and have people send you a comment in order to get there. But if you click, I have mine on a timer. If you click over here onto the pencil, you can actually customize what the background color is, how big the font is, what the font is in here. So if I want to change this over to American typewriter and I do that, now it looks different. And you probably would have seen me at the beginning. I was kind of messing with them because you really can only, you can really only mess with them when they come in, which makes it a little bit tricky. But now, and it'll hold that. So if I change the comment, I go over to 4, it's holding that same type and that same font. So, and there's no way to automate this process. So that's another question that always comes up. People want to be able to automate that. I don't think you really want to anyway. It's not one of those cases where we're protecting you from yourself, but you never know who's going to be in the chat or who may say something really horrific or troll-like or something that you don't want to see. So I've just been, as we're talking, I just click them. You can set it into a stream deck. You can make it a little bit easier to do, but I'm just clicking from one to the next for them to come up, and they're on a timer, as you saw earlier. So that's that one. I'm going to shoot out of live demo mode. So Doc, what about NDI and connecting cameras? Does it cause audio latency? Actually, this is a great question. NDI HX, is that cameras or audio? Yeah. I'm going to ask the stupid questions today.
NDI HX is a camera, but you can still do audio. And listen, the whole point of NDI is a wireless connection. If there is a wireless connection, it's off. I am looking at my own lips on the screen.
Wait, you gotta hold it down.
I could just do this maybe. Let me do this. Yeah. Okay, so now I am doing. Caleb, stop talking to us. We're live. Caleb is sending us. Anyway, the point is, turn on your camera, turn on your monitor, and look at your Ecamm and look at your lips. Yeah. They are not the same. Why? Because it's wireless. Okay, so even if it was hardwired, the signal has to go into the phone. The A15 in the phone has to process that signal. It has to send it out the little butt in the bottom of the thing. It has to run down the cable and into your computer. And then your M1 has to do it. All of the above is fast because this is technically an M1. That's an M1. That's great. Let your other computer or your other device be an Intel or a crappy Android or something. It's even worse, right? So you guys have to understand it is not ever. I'm going to give a demonstration.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
We have Doc up on a hang on one sec. Here we
Okay,
go.
we're going to do a latency test. I need to take 2 ounces from here and put it here. Is it real time? No, it takes a matter of seconds. There's no way to get this from here to there unless I become Samantha and go. And even that, it takes 2 seconds to wiggle the nose. And anybody who gets that joke, you're old.
Oh no! I take it back. I don't find that funny.
Remember Bewitched, right?
Oh yeah.
So there is, and I had this conversation with somebody the other day because I don't think people understand there is no such thing as no latency. And again, if you would like to prove this to yourself, take a phone and call the house partner from the other side of the house, and then listen to how you sound on their phone. Mm-hmm. Even if you call another phone in your own house, or you call your landline, if you have a landline, you're old. Even if you call your landline from your mobile phone, notice the latency. There's always latency. So what you want to do is minimize latency by using wires where possible. And when you can't use wires, you have to understand the latency and you work with it. So I'm not saying that wireless is completely bad because there's situations where you need to. I use NDI HS Capture pretty much every demo because somebody says, hey, what kind of lights do you got? And I don't have my phone hardwired. I go NDI HS Capture. I show my lights. I explain just buy NAND lights and stop buying cheap lights. And then, it's on. So it is beautiful, but you have to know everything has latency. And my favorite way to explain this over and over again, right now, basketball. Go watch basketball game, and they'll say, hey, we're going to go down to the floor to Katie. And Katie's like, hey, Doc, yeah, I'm talking to the coach right now, and, he's pissed. They haven't hit a free throw all game. Back to you in the studio. Oh, Katie, thanks for the update. Multi-billion dollars worth of equipment, not your $5
no $5
Amazon
iPhone
card.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got $1 billion equipment, and they can't make it real time. Real time doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So stop it.
We apologize for Doc's feistiness today. We warned you. He's been up.
I'm just trying to be factual. And I think it's important that the bluntness helps people understand their expectations, because I think we have gotten so spoiled with the fact that we can do this, which is dope, by the way. I'm not taking nothing from what we can do, but I tell people when they're willing to hear it, that what Katie and I are doing right now to talk to you folks, and you folks be able to answer us back in real time. In my experience, this was about $3.5, maybe $4 million worth of equipment. Mm-hmm. And we get to do it with an $800 Mac Mini and a $1,500 MacBook, a couple internet connections, and a bunch of really cute people.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
Like, you have to respect the tech. But what people do is, we got this now, and we complain about it. Yeah. We got instant food and we complain about it. We complain about serving sizes in the US. And I'm like, go to a country that has a hard time feeding and complain about your service size. I mean, come on. At some point, you got to just respect the tech.
Respect the tech.
Why is Jill laughing
Jill
at me?
wants to know why you sound like Seth Roger.
It's Seth Rogen. See, you got your Canadians mixed up, Jill.
Too many Canadians in the house. I love it. There we go with the correction.
You're almost not anymore. I can't tease you anymore.
I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's super fun.
It was a super fun experience. For anyone that doesn't know, I am still currently a Canadian citizen, but I am in the final steps of my citizenship. So I'm waiting for my swearing in ceremony, but I made it through the test. So right now, I know probably a lot more American history and government and all civics than most of you. So if you want to quiz me, I am ready for all of the crazy questions. Some of them blatantly obvious, like who is the current U.S. president, and then some of them not so obvious, like how many amendments are there and what are the first 10 of them called? The answer, 27, and the first 10 are called the Bill of Rights. So all there and ready.
Every time somebody says something wacky about the Constitution, I want to ask them constitutional questions.
Oh my goodness! So I was absolutely terrified of one question out of all. They give you 100 questions and 100 and all the answers up front, and then they can ask you any 10 questions. And I was getting all of them right all the time, except for when Dane would say, "What is the Constitution?" And I was like, so many answers, like so many. I couldn't like figure out what the one thing what like I couldn't wrap my. It was just too big. It was like too big, too general a question. I just couldn't even handle it. So so that was the one. And thankfully he didn't ask me that, so it was so I was all okay. But I had to prove that I could speak and write in English as well, which is part of this entire thing. And so I got the joy of writing with my finger. Y'all, like America, one of the richest countries in the world, and they're like, take this iPad and use your fat finger to write, who is George Washington, to prove that you can speak English. So
oh God, I love Todd's comment. Katie, when you're studying for your English, I can help you with the swearing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Turns out I'm pretty good at English.
Todd. Thanks, Todd.
I can write who is George Washington. I can answer who is George Washington as well. Hey, Anna.
Yeah, so I wanted to finish that a very important thing though. People, make sure you get not only just your cables, but get backup cables. And strangely enough, considering how inexpensive they are, Amazon Basic is pretty good. They're not the bottom of the barrel they used to be. Mm-hmm. And it's because Amazon gets all the returns and they got sick of it. So they stepped their game up and they found a better cable maker. Mm-hmm. I've been to China in some of the cable making factories. I've watched a lot of, high-end cable making companies. The reason why Thunderbolt cables are expensive is there's a chip in there that mitigates the data going in and out to make sure you get your full 40 gigs. And so you're going to want to make sure you buy a branded Thunderbolt cable that you don't cheap out on. Same with your Lightning cable for your phone. Inside the little nubbin, there's actually a chip in there that makes sure that everything works is talking to the phone. And that's why sometimes you'll plug in a cable you bought from the liquor store and it'll say, I don't recognize this accessory, because there's a chip in there that communicates with the whatever chip that's inside your phone. So that being said, stick to brands like Anchor, Belkin. What'd you put?
When you find a cable that you like, buy another one. That's
100%.
Good
That's
advice.
the answer. That's what I was going to say. Yeah. Make sure you buy backup cables. I stick to Anchor because they do red really well. I try to get all red cables for two reasons. Like Katie mentioned, it keeps Karen from stealing them, which now that has become a problem because now she steals them. And the other thing is, when you go to look for a cable in the bottom of a bag and it's not black. Oh, amazing. Absolutely amazing. So this is an Anchor cable that's plugged into the iPad right now.
That's the one I have. There's my iPad cable.
I think because I sent you the link.
Yeah, I think
but there's another brand that looks like Anchor, and it's called AO something. It's a weird name. And there's the other company that Amazon has really good cables. They're called Ugreen, which is a weird name, but they're very good. And so just try to look don't buy the cheapest one unless it's on sale. Right? Try to buy, stick to brands that work. And like Camera Junkie said, as soon as you find one that works, get it.
Yeah.
Pro tip for your studio. I just threw it earlier. But what I do with it, I got it. This brand is really good. It's called Licks. Stupid name for a cable, but you can get any color you like. And so this is the orange cables that I sent to Katie for the Ken and Glenn show. So they have about 16 colors.
Nice.
So for those of you, if you're trying to get, Keely done with the red and black, or you're trying to get a little buck blue, or, the purple, whatever, as you can see, They're good XLR cables. They're not expensive, but their build quality is incredible. So yeah, just make sure you get your good cable squared away.
I love it. Well, speaking of audio, Tony's got a great question. What's the best way to set audio levels in Ecamm so that the host and the remote guests are the same loudness?
First of all, good question. Second of all, impossible. Third of all, you can get it closed. Okay. So here's what I do. Wait, can I do demo?
Yep,
Wait,
I can
I'm
just
trying to
take
put,
you over.
I keep trying to put this Chrome screen onto the other monitor, but the other monitor is connected to the other Mac right now.
Well,
So
let me
it
know. I
don't
can
make
go
no-
live demo mode too, and you can walk me through it if
Here,
that's
I got
easier.
it. I got it.
Okay.
It's so funny. This up. All right. So number one, Tony, the first thing you do is come over here to your interview level, and then you're going to want to set this to 80. Okay. 80 rhymes with Katie. All of mine are set to 80. I turned this down yesterday because I was doing something and the music was loud. But before every show, I check to make sure that all of these are 80. Then when you do your guest, actually, Katie, you should go to live demo now because I'm actually called into.
Okay, one sec. Well, mine are all wrong, so this will be a really fun thing.
Oh, and
Let me
see,
go over to live
this
demo
is
mode.
this is even more funny that they're all wrong because I know I've had this conversation with Katie.
Oh
and
yeah,
Jill.
no, for sure. Yeah. So mine are like, and I've been messing and playing around with stuff, but mine are at 90 and movie 100 and sound effects 58 and 100 system audio and
So
interview
click on
92.
the interview panel, the one that's under comments. Hey,
Uh,
Keels.
Let me just move this around so I want to be able to still see my comments
Okay,
coming through. There
you
we go.
see,
Yep.
you see how Katie has my mic pegged right now? That is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Pull that back to like 80. I'll increase my audio back myself.
Okay. So like there.
There we go. Now
All
my
right.
audio should be roughly the same. You want to start your show with this at about 80 and the other at about 80.
Okay. So
The
let me slide
reason
you
why
down
you
here
can go ahead and turn the interview down to 80 because I can adjust myself to get it
and
back
turn
up.
myself down to
Now,
80.
so
All
you
right.
see
How are
these
we
levels
doing,
here.
guys?
As I can even just look at Ecamm. As soon as I hit yellow when I go loud, like, hey, I'm Jill. Okay, see
Hey,
how
it's
I only
Katie.
hit yellow? That's
Hey.
the right thing,
All right.
right? That is the right thing because now I know. Now, if you can go to a web browser, Katie, and go to youlean.com.
LAN.
Lean.
LEAN.com. Like this? You lean?
Yep.
I'm scared.
Oh, well, that didn't work. Oh, ulean.co. Sorry. I hate when they do that.
You lean.
We have to fight this because people buy other people's domains. Hit online tools up there in the middle.
Online tools. Yep.
And then go to online loudness meter.
Ooh. All right.
Okay, hit start metering.
Allow.
Okay. So this is what's coming out of your computer. As long as you're staying under that 100, you're good. If you click on the cogwheel for a second, please.
Mm-hmm.
And change it to loudness at full scale, short turn.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's do negative. Now just click away.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, so that's where you want to be. In theory, our goal for the internet is normally just around minus 20. Okay. So as long as you're in that range, right around minus 20, you're doing good. Currently, your Chrome browser is listening to you. It can't hear both of us, but you can fix that when you set up, that little, how you set up Chrome. You want Chrome to hear your Rodecaster Pro or whatever. In your case, it would be the Shure MV7, but that's how you do it. That's just a general test. Always
copy this into the
literally just check with your people, and you have to know your guests. Like, I know for a fact that if I'm going to bring on Matthew Casanelli as a guest, I have to crank him up because I am Matthew and I talk like a genius and I don't have a lot of whatever, but I know more stuff about shortcuts than anybody on the planet,
Truth.
so I can whisper.
Truth.
So I just crank Matthew up because I know that Matthew's a whisperer. Now, if I bring on Luis Camera Junkie Vega, I'm going to turn his mic all the way down because he's Puerto Rican, like me, and he's loud. So, I mean, you have to spend some time in your tech check
Love
to
it.
set your levels.
Yep.
And I swear to you, the one thing that I see the most in the community from people is about the levels. And I'm like, you should have had that straightened out in your tech check.
Mm-hmm.
And you should have given yourself space to adjust. And if you didn't do those two things, that's not the software, player. I can give you raw chicken. You got to cook it. Because if you eat it like that, you finna die.
Oh my goodness. No one die. Let's all just do tech checks. Let's all
I mean,
the
the software cannot
Yeah.
fix audio for you. You have to fix it. We can give you the tool. It's called the volume slider.
Mm-hmm.
And then teach you how to use it, which I just did. Now
Mm-hmm.
the rest is up to you.
Yeah, and what I really learned and have now been taking to heart from the audio workshop, which I promise we'll have online soon, those finished videos, is that, and what I guess was kind of counterintuitive in my brain was that when you're doing like audio checks and tests and practicing, you know, I was like, well, you need to hear it, you need to hear it, you need to hear it. But what you said that really resonated with me was that you need to see it. Like the point of all of these different meters is being able to actually see the volume and see where the sound is coming through. So don't just listen to it, like actually see it and see it in the right spot, which I thought was really helpful. Hopefully I've said that
Yes,
correctly.
and another thing that no one does, and this is super important. Say you're going to YouTube, and I'll cover Terry's question at the same time. YouTube. Say you're going to YouTube, and you know you're going to YouTube, and you're doing the tech check. Set up a private stream and actually stream.
Mm-hmm.
Stephanie has stated this. I have stated this. Alex AJ Johnson, who's in the stated this. I'm pretty sure that Loria, all of the people that teach this stuff has stated this. It is not a tech check if you never actually go live.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're on Facebook, go live to your own profile, set the viewership to only me.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a YouTube stream, go live to YouTube, set the stream as private or unlisted. And then go live for a second, record it, tell the person to hold on, and you listen to it yourself. Mm-hmm. And hear what it sounds like. So how do I check? Because I'm streaming with this computer. Listen from your iPhone. Listen from your iPad. The advantage of listening from your iPhone is this is the probably worst speakers that anyone's going to have.
Truth.
And these are dope. But for the average person watching or listening from a mobile, if you really want to do yourself a favor, go get an old like junk phone and then listen to the stream that you recorded privately on that. Mm-hmm. And mute your microphone for a second so you can hear it, have your guest talk, and you hear, and you know exactly what it sounds like. That is a legitimate tech check.
Yeah.
Like having them come on a couple minutes ahead of time, that's not what the tech check is. That's the pre-show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super important. And I mean, especially if you're doing, you know, anything that is bigger than goofing off and having fun, really. I mean anything that matters to you, you should be testing and checking. Any other, I know most of us here are team YouTube, but any other things you want to add in here as an answer to Terry's question?
Yeah, Facebook is horrible.
I mean, Facebook does a lot of things that cause issues, right? I mean, they're lowering the quality of your video.
Me, and my whole job is to stream to people, and they banned me from. And I didn't do anything. I hadn't even gone live for like a couple of weeks because I was traveling with Katie and the team, and I don't have any strikes. Like, hey, you said something bad. You talked about the government. None of that. I don't do political stuff. I don't do religious stuff. I don't do anything. It just stopped working. And I told them like a week ago, and they still haven't fixed it. But that's just Facebook. Like, they're so big. They remind me of when I see the cruise ships out my window. They can't turn around in the bay. They need like 6 other boats to turn them around in the bay because they can't do it. Facebook is set that big. They just horrible at it. YouTube is better. But the other thing is, there's no Facebook app on the TV.
Yeah.
I mean, show of hands, how many people in the chat watch live streams on their TV ambiently? And what I mean by that is have Luis talking while I am vacuuming or getting yelled at about my socks under the couch or
Yeah.
cooking or in the kitchen or whatever. Like, I always have somebody on the TV. It's normally Luis or Tom and Heather or Alex or somebody, or Dina, because Dina's always cooking. My whole family sits down to watch Dina cooking now. It's crazy. Like, my mother-in-law is there. What's she making today? Like, she's so enthralled. She's sitting on the edge of the couch. So, like, that's why YouTube is dope, is because many people can see it. You can see it from the TVs, the Apple TVs, the Rokus. There's no Facebook way to do that. The other thing I think is the most important, this is my opinion, so you people don't at me, but you open Facebook to say hi to your friends, stalk an ex, complain about politics, some of that. You happen to see a video and then you pull over to see the video. You go to YouTube to watch videos.
Yeah.
You don't go to YouTube for anything else.
Yep.
So when you walk into the grocery store, your intention is to buy groceries. That's totally different from Walmart that sells groceries next to the socks. I could have been going to the store to get a new cable, and while I'm here, I'll stop and get groceries. Now, I know they have their own separate grocery stores or whatever, and mega stores are becoming a thing, but don't muck up the analogy trying to be cute. You know, the point is people come to YouTube specifically to watch videos, and they're more engaging. They can watch it in the background. Cars have YouTube app. I'm just saying.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I love this.
Eden, stop making trouble.
I love this one. I have a camcorder that I need to use for long distance shot, 20 times optical. What is a good capture dongle with audio?
There's only one. Camlink. Period.
Elgato Camlink.
Yeah, I am super anti. I know Mr. Luis likes those little $15 things. I'm not about that life, because the same people that buy $15 capture cards go into the group and complain that Ecamm dropped their camera while they were streaming live. And no question of the $15 capture card, but just get a Camlink. It's flawless.
Here, I'm scrolling through questions as we're nearing the end of our time.
Good question.
Yeah, is there a way that we can control the focus of the camera, a Canon or webcam within Ecamm? Not the focus. Maybe 4.0. I don't think that's a question that we've gotten before.
No, that's
actually.
impossible.
But you can do a lot of other things within the camera settings, so you can definitely control the brightness and a lot of the color. You can add LUTs. There's a lot you can do to kind of clean up.
The reason why we can't control camera focus, and I know where people get this from, so good question. Webcams have that built into certain webcams, because the webcam is normally hardwired to the computer, and it's either built in or it's like Logitech, so they know the hardware calls. But for us, we don't know whether you're Sony, Canon, Panasonic, Nikon, Fuji, some other random third-party thing, Olympus, whatever. And so we don't know whether you're contrast detection, phase detection, dual pixel phase. We don't know. So we would have no way to control it, because we wouldn't know what focusing system you have. And if your camera doesn't focus good, it's a Panasonic. It's a true statement. I hate to be mean, but ask Camera Junkie. He'll tell you the same thing.
Ecamm is not responsible for Doc's opinions. Just saying.
I said I need a graphic. Let's call it graphic. I need a graphic for all of my streams that I say that, because it's a true story. But no, they're really good manual focus cameras. They have excellent imagery, but you have to be willing to manual focus. Diana says Panasonic can't focus on itself. Yeah, mobile apps are different. What Kevin is saying, actually, good thing, Kevin. This is why I keep Kevin around. He's pretty good.
Yeah, that's actually a really good
There
point,
is a really cool application you can get for your phone and for your iPad called Monitor Plus. Mr. Duncan, if you can get that Monitor Plus link, please, I would appreciate you. Hiccup. This is Monitor Plus. Let me turn on my A7 IV and point it to my face, and hopefully it'll find it. I haven't used this in a minute, but I'm trying to turn on my A7 IV and put it where it can see me. Come here. Oh, I got it. Battery is dead, or the battery is dead. Sorry, but basically, Monitor Plus. There it is. It found my A7 IV. So I press this button, say pair, and it should connect really soon. I'll have to switch my Wi-Fi on my tablet to talk to the camera. No, battery's too dead. Sorry. Anyway, basically what happens is this basically controls your camera, and it controls everything, focus, the whole 9 yards. It's a $20 app. It works with the majority of the cameras out there. You can get the trial for free to make sure your camera is legit. But I use it for my A7 IV. I use it for my ZV-E10. I use it for my ZV-1, everything, because this stops me from having to go back there and reach. And if you look at the way the studio is set up where Katie is right now, she'd have to get up, walk around the table, go behind the tripod, try to make an adjustment, go back.
Yep.
When Ken or Glenn is in the office, done. Ken or Glenn, can you sit there while I set the camera?
Yep.
Cool. But when she's by herself and Jill's not there, like, she'd be like running back and forth. By the time she goes live, she'd be half out of breath and keeling over.
This
so
happens to us a lot actually in the other office.
Control everything.
Yeah, we have we don't have like as full a studio in our other office, but we definitely have obviously equipment and can go live, and Glenn does all the time from like for the beta streams. But yeah, he constantly have to be like, hey, can you come over here and focus me? Hey, can you come over here and help with that?
Yeah, Panasonic app does that as well. Monitor Plus is a little bit more feature-rich. If you have a Panasonic, it works. The Sony app works, the Canon app works, but I found Monitor Plus is better than all the manufacturer apps. It's only $20, so to me it was worth it.
Yeah,
and I've used all of the manufacturer's apps. The other thing, if you're a Sony person, higher than ZV-1, this is a $12 remote. It's called the RMT DSLR2, which is funny because Sony makes mirrorless cameras. Sony has never made DSLR.
DSLR2 remote.
But this can also control your camera.
Ooh,
so
cool.
It got the zoom in, zoom out. I can go in the menu and do all of the myriad things with that.
Oh, well, I may have to order that. And the other thing I need to order, I'm going to scroll back here into questions. And if you have any last questions, throw them in because we're wrapping in a couple of minutes here. But this is a great question. Yeah, so the Elgato HD60X just came out. I don't have one yet here in the office, but Luria Live Streaming Pros.
I ordered one.
Doc's got one on the way.
I didn't send my expense report yet, but I ordered one to test out.
We want to test it out. But
okay,
yeah,
good.
Luria's got a great video where she tests out a bunch of, I think three of the Elgato capture cards. So if you're looking for a good comparison, we can't answer that quite yet, but soon. But she's got a great video over there that we'll be sure to share out.
Yeah, so I did her private Zoom call the other day, and then that was the first thing she told me when I came in. So I ordered it while we were there just so that I can do testing with Ecamm. Yeah. For what most people do, you won't need it per se, but I do understand why certain people will. Yeah. So the church people, you want to pass through the signal from the capture to a gigantic TV in the other room. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, Paul, you don't need an expense report. there is a bunch of people that make it, but there's a box that looks similar to this, and you put an Ethernet cable in and an HDMI here, and then you can run 3,000-foot Ethernet cable and put the other end on. I actually have a set that I use for when I do weddings and stuff. That allows you to put the HDMI cable like halfway across the church. So if you have a bigger church or just a whole separate room, long HDMI cables are expensive and buggy. So you can send HDMI over Ethernet, right? Mm-hmm. And then so with the combination of that and the 60X, whatever the new name is, you would be able to send the fill over service. So like one of the churches here down the street, they're so big that they have two buildings. So they have to send the signal from the main building to the other building, and you would be able to do that while you still go live because of the way this is set up.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's good information. They should just updated the Cam Link 4K. Yeah, maybe they will now that they're rolling it. They have rolled out this new one. They've been releasing a bunch of stuff. They also, they rolled out not that long ago the Stream Deck Pedal, which a lot of Ecamm Live people have been using if you need hands-free switching. Yeah, lots coming out there. Awesome. Doc, we did it. As I've now been saying, we've wasted another perfectly good hour. We answered all of the questions. We have a couple of things to shout out before we head out of here. So the first one is that if you have not yet, our amazing moderator, Alec, has a brand new Ecamm Live Masterclass. He has got like 160 videos in this course. So if you're just really want to be able to dive in and cover everything about Ecamm Live, consider signing up for the Ecamm Live Masterclass. You can get that at ecammlivemasterclass.com. Really fun. Tomorrow we have the absolutely incredible Kathy Hester taking over YouTube to do a cooking and home chef cookbook author specific live demo and Q&A. So if you are a home chef or a crafter or someone that uses your hands and are in a space and are using live video, this is going to be a really, really fun live demo and Q&A. So come cheer Kathy on and come enter and join. Come pull up a chair in her kitchen digitally tomorrow. I believe that's at 2:00 here on our YouTube channel. The link, it'll redirect you at the end of this. And then just a huge shout out to the absolutely incredible Diana Gladney, who has done our new Ecamm Simplified series. So for everyone that's been like, we just want videos that make it really easy for us who have no idea what we're doing. We are brand new, have just started out. These videos will take you all the way from brand new, just starting, all the way up to pro. You can find them at ecamm.tv/simple. They are also here on our YouTube channel, so definitely give those a check. Paul's catching up. Alex there in the comments if you have any questions about Ecamm Live Masterclass. But yeah, lots of fun stuff coming up this week. And next, trying to think what else we have in the queue. Everyone's still participating in CETA. It's been so much fun watching all the content coming through. I've been having a blast. I'm actually this month, so on a totally create every day in the month of April. I'm doing a crafting project. So I've been doing what are called daily pages. So I've been physically using markers and stickers and stamps and pictures and all of that, representing each day of the month in a physical book. And it's just been a really nice way to kind of unplug a little bit and get into a creative space that isn't in front of my computer. So whatever you're doing, we'd love to see it. It doesn't have to be a video. It can be, a new Instagram account that you've opened. It could be a physical project. Maybe you're an artist, or could be a cooking project. Maybe you're making a different dish every single day of the month. But we'd love to see you creating, sharing, hanging out in the community. So in the community, you can use hashtag CEDA. That's CEDA. Or just tag us in your post so we can see what you're up to. But it's only
there's
6.
There's a pinned post there too. I wanted to throw something at everybody to maybe they should try. Okay, I told this to my class the other day. People who are still I'm having a hard time, I'm feeling awkward on camera or whatever. You still have that bug, and I get it. Yep. Whatever. Take your phone, record one of those TLC style video diaries every day, and you don't have to show nobody. You can delete them, do whatever.
Literally for yourself. It's okay.
Talk to your phone every day and give yourself that. So 2 things are going to happen. 1, you'll get comfortable to it. And, I know the first 3 are going to be like this. Oh, I don't know what to say, but Doc told me to do this, blah, blah, blah. That's the same as you do when you do your first 3 streams. Yeah. But the more you do it, by the time you get to the 10th one, you be like, this lady cut me off in traffic, and I just wanted to reach through the window and say a couple things about her and blah, blah, blah. And then you'll see it'll just come to you as second nature. It is a very dope way to practice, is to do yourself a video journal. The other thing that is very handy for, and I talked about this with Keely the other day, all of us have our little books and we're writing our notes of our content that we want to be able to work on, and we're filling out the little charts and stuff. But you might be at the grocery store and a content idea will hit you because of an ad you saw or something like that. I know a lot of people stop and take notes. Problem with the notes is you're in a hurry, so you shorthand those notes. You go orange USB cable. When I see that note a week from now, orange USB cable for what? I forgot, what I was going to do
The
is
moment
order
has
an orange
passed.
USB cable for Katie.
Yeah.
Make that a video note. And with Apple Notes, you can actually record videos in the Apple Notes. So the advantage of doing it as a video, you can talk faster than you can type, and you can explain yourself to yourself.
Yep.
Because yourself is the one, everybody that wrote some note down and be like, what the hell did I write this for? Every single human in here, those of us of a certain vintage, Paul, looking at you, we do it more than normal, but make yourself little video notes. And also that's probably where an app like Volley would come in handy if you have a team. So you can sing quick volleys back and forth. Katie and Caleb and I are getting better at using voice memos in Slack because it's just easier to get it out sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to hate
Pro
voice
tip.
memos. I still sometimes hate them, but I'm getting better at it. So yeah, no, I agree. I agree with Eden. I love this tip so much. I think it's a great way to approach it. And
I'm pretty sure Eden talks to herself all the time.
Right? I've done it a couple of times, and it starts off feeling really awkward, and it gets progressively easier as you go, and it does really make a big difference. So, and you start kind of seeing what's possible and what's out there. The more you consume, the more you practice, the more you do, the better you'll be.
100%. It's a
Awesome.
good tip.
We are going to dance it out so I can go pick up Kieran from coding class, and we will be back again.
You said you were picking up Karen. I was like, wait, what?
I'm coming for you, Karen.
I heard what you said now.
I'm picking up Kieran from coding class. We'll be back again here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be talking about fails. We'll be sharing some of our earlier on videos that I've been promising you all that I would share. So if you have any fail stories or fail related questions, hopefully you'll show up and bring those then, or share and post them into the group so we can all talk about how to overcome failure and how to deal with things as they're happening.
We had to talk about this at Social Media and Marketing World, and Eden shared a really funny one. But we've all done this where you do the whole video and it's perfect take and you got it in one, and then you're like, oh, I didn't press record.
Oh yeah,
I did that yesterday. Yes. I did that yesterday. It was super funny. I was like,
You're like, nailed it. Oh no, that's it. That's it for everyone. Well, I hope everyone has an absolutely fantastic Wednesday. We'll catch you on the flip side. We'll see you in the community. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for being pretend Jill today, Doc. It was always fun to hang out with you.
Yeah, I'm not as cute as her, but I have fun. I try.
Bye, everyone.
I hold on to this storm 'cause I need to.